Hey Shadow!
Hello beauties, how are you all doing today? Today's makeup tutorial is going to be a glamorous take on our classic winged liner. As you all know, wings in makeup terms are a beautiful and simple way of changing up your look from day to night, and some women rock it really dramatically and some rock it just on its own. Either way, it's beautiful. Today I'm going to show you how to really glam up a beautiful black wing and make it really wearable for any occasion. So today I'm going to show you how to achieve this look. We're going to pair a really dramatic winged liner on our model here and add a bit of shimmer, a bit of glitter, pop of lashes, and glossy lips. The first step, which I always love and I never skip, is to add a bit of that glow right on the skin. Serves as a primer and adds a beautiful skin finish once foundation is on. The next step is to fill in and define the brows. Always use short, feathery strokes. And of course, to make it look much less drawn on, you use a clean spoolie or a clean mascara one just to brush all that product through the brows. The next step is to use a bit of concealer, just a little bit, not too much, to tidy up underneath the brow and on top of it. Mind you, we have not done any foundation yet, so on the top I would advise, rather than using a highlight shade, you use a foundation shade, which means you match it to her skin tone. Therefore, you're not going to wipe off half the brow when you're applying the foundation. Creating a clean arch for the brow takes a while, especially with concealer, but practice makes perfect. After the brows have been sculpted and cleaned up with concealer, the next step is to create a flawless finish with a full coverage foundation for our model Hilda. Some of you might be wondering why I'm using full coverage foundation, and that's because it covers a multitude of sins and it's perfect for the humid climate that we find ourselves in. Our next step will be to create a highlight under her eyes, on her T-zone, right on top of the bridge of her nose, and on her chin, just to pop out and bring those beautiful features forward. And now, using a damp beauty blender, I'm carefully blending all the highlighted areas. Always keep in mind that wherever you highlight becomes more pronounced to the naked eye and on camera. Now that we've created a beautiful highlight for Hilda, we are going to complement that with some contour. Create some cheekbones, define the nose. So the placement of your contour is key. You do not have to use it with these particular products. You can use a darker foundation, just about 2 shades darker than your shade. You start from the top of the ear and curve it right under the cheek to create a beautiful cheekbone. If you have a smaller face, you can stop and not make it as long. Around the hairline, it's really important to place a darker shade there just to blend with the hair. Along the side of the nose and just into the eyebrow, you can create a beautiful nose contour, and that really helps for ladies with broad noses. The sharper you want your nose to appear, the thinner you need to leave that line. I'm satisfied with the amount of blending I've done. Highlight and contour seem to have melted into one another. So I'm just going back with a darker shade and just creating a really short one here and on the other side. And that is just to add a little bit of dimension. I want to give her really enhanced cheekbones. Now we've got all these gorgeous creams on her skin. Everything is looking really blended. The next step would be to set the under eye. I'm using a really fine translucent powder, and I'm using the same beauty blender that I just used to blend everything together. I'm using the same translucent powder to set all the areas I highlighted, and also using the same powder to just define the edge of her contour. So I do not intend on baking. For those of you that know about makeup, this technique is called baking. You can leave it on for longer to set more and look more cakey, but I just leave it on for a few seconds, maybe a minute, and I take it off. The next step would be to set her foundation with a powder that matches her skin tone. And I'm going to press that lightly into the skin. Be careful not to put too much powder, otherwise your finish might be cakey. Now we are going to create a skin-like finish on Hilda because we've mattified everything, we've covered everything up with full coverage. She's looking beautiful, and sometimes matte looks are the way to go. But I believe a little bit of skin finish powders, which are really finely milled finishing powders that add a bit of glow back to the skin, are perfect. I like to start with the lightest powders first because it's easy to work with that in order. And especially because I use the same brush, I like to start with lighter colors. And I'm using this lighter shade just to go over and blend out all her highlight areas. The next shade is one that is very close to her skin color. And I'm brushing that all over, warming up her face, spreading it down to her neck. Finally, we set the contour as well with a darker shade. Our look on the eyelid today is going to be a very prominent eyeliner, and as such I'm balancing that and pairing it with a very structured look on the face, and that's why I'm paying a lot of attention to the contour. Our skin is set and looking beautiful. We're going to go straight into the eye look. I have some beautiful browns to work with, and I always love to start with transition colors. I'm using a smaller detail brush just to create a bit of a crease. I have some beautiful cream pigments for the eyes, so I'm going to use that on her eyelid. This is a long wearing liquid cream pigment, so it is going to set and it will not budge. I'm blending the darker brown one into this bronzy pigment, and it creates a beautiful ombre. The next step is the key feature of this look, which is our really defined eyeliner look. It's going to pair beautifully with the glitter look I've created on her eyelids and also complement the structured face I've created. Now you can decide to go with a wing just on top because it is really dramatic and it's a feature of the look. It stands out on its own, but I'm going to put a bit of black eyeliner on her waterline just to tie it all in together and make a really even more dramatic cat eye. I'm using a flat brush to quickly create some more definition under the eye before the eyeliner dries, making sure to connect it to the wing that we have already created. The things in perfecting an eyeliner are to make sure that all the lines are straight, the edges are straight, they're symmetrical, make sure the wings are in the same direction on either eye, and also to make sure that the inner corner of the eye is really nice and detailed. Our next step is mascara. We are going to coat the top and bottom lashes. I like to start from the bottom, make sure they're very well defined. And I love using a really small detail brush. When applying falsies, before you put them on, just make sure they are the right length to match your eye by just placing them on and making sure that you need to cut some off or not. So if the strip lashes are a bit too long, always cut them from the end and not from the inner corner, from the outer end. And if they're a little bit too straight or too rigid, after applying some glue, just bend them and apply the lash band as close to the bottom of the lash as possible. I am adding another set of wispy lashes to create dimension and to really complement the wing. I'm using a lash that has a beautiful shape, a smaller inner corner, and a very long outer. Not all lashes have to be this long. Our model Hilda can carry off these dramatic lashes, but at home you can use shorter ones or you can cut them in half and place them where you feel most comfortable. She's rocking a beautiful and very dramatic wing, and to choose a lip color is not that hard. You just need a really bright and vivid color to match the attitude she's rocking on her eyes. So I'm going to go for a mixture between a red and a dark red to create a nice cocktail of colors. We're going to line the lip with a brown lip pencil. I have a mixture of 3 different colors, all in different shades of reds. This is actually a fuchsia color of sorts. I'm going to use that on the inner part of her lip to highlight it and create an ombre, whilst using these 2 on the outer corner. Done and down to the final steps, and that is perfecting the skin. So I'm going to use a bit of blush. It's a nice coral shade. I'm taking the excess off and applying it to the apples of her cheeks. And then our next favorite step is a highlighter, and this is a very pigmented highlighter. It's also looking almost holographic, which is in trend. You apply this on top of the blush, and in terms of position, just on the high points of the cheekbones. Before you finish your work and head off to your party, just make sure all the details are perfect. Fill in any gaps, especially with the eyebrows. If you did them before you started your makeup, brush the brow hairs back into position. Fill in any areas that may have wiped off. And finally, to make sure the brows are perfect, use a small swipe of clear mascara on the eyebrows to make sure there's no powder or foundation on them, and also to set them in place. Our look is done, it's complete. Hilda, our model, is looking gorgeous. Her liner could speak without her even opening her lips and saying a word. She looks gorgeous and edgy, paired with that gorgeous lip as well. I am lost for words. I hope you love it. Recreate this look in your own way. You do not need to make it as drastic or as long. You can create a shorter wing, you can play around with the colors, you can add more glitter and make it your own. Rock this look, and I love you guys. Have a good day and see you soon.
Hey dolls! Did you enjoy watching this tutorial? Join the Alexiglam family by liking and subscribing to our Alexiglam channel. Tap the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a new video. Stay connected by following us on our socials at Alexiglam and at Alexandrina Makeup. Happy recreating!